My name is Conor Buckley. I'm the Chief Executive of Longship, a startup based here in the Rubicon Centre that's involved in the energy management business. And my hobby in the evenings is I'm the chairman of the West Cork Tourism Co-op and also the non-executive chairman of Fastnet Line, which restored the route between Swansea and Cork recently. In 2008, John Hosford and Adrian Brintnall were very active in trying to get a campaign to restore the link between Cork and Swansea. At the time, I was chairman of West Cork Tourism, which was a very small lobbying group for tourism interests in West Cork. Our annual budget was somewhere in the region of 30,000 per annum. And at that point, we had a discussion with the Port of Cork and other interested parties and hit on the idea of forming a cooperative to restore the service. And over the course of a whirlwind 8 weeks campaign, we raised 3 million, ended up in Kotka by the Russian border, and before we knew it, we owned a ship called the Julia, and the rest, they say, is history. Over the course of the next number of weeks, we prepared the ship for her maiden voyage to Cork. So she came down over the course of about 10 or 12 days. Initially she came into Swansea, and I think there was much rejoicing in Swansea when she came in and did her initial birthing trials there, and then from there she made her way into Cork in late October to scenes of much jubilation in Cork as she came up the Lee. And I think it was fantastic that she managed to birth up in Horgan's Quay, and it was really a symbol of what was possible by the people of Cork in really, really tough times over the course of the last winter. So we're here on the 9th of December today. Our target for this year was in the region of 70,000 passengers. We think by the end of December we'll achieve 85,000 passengers. In terms of vehicles carried, we're looking at somewhere in the region of about 28,000 vehicles carried this year, and obviously going up over 30,000 vehicles next year. I suppose one of the first real benefits of this is the whole sustainable side of the business from the carbon point of view. Now, with any statistics, you have to be careful, and I suppose there's lies, there's damn lies, and then there's statistics. But the rule of thumb is that a family of 4, and most of our journeys are families, use about a quarter of the carbon coming by ferry than they would if they were to fly. Obviously, freight, any type of bulky freight, is just not practical to carry it by air. So it's a no-brainer to travel, heavy loads on a route like this. And obviously, the region we are in here in South Munster is a huge primary producing region. So agriculture, fisheries, food. We export 80 to 90% of everything we produce in the region, primarily to Britain, and obviously this is a very, very sustainable way to move that product in a carbon, certainly maybe not neutral, but certainly with a lot lower emissions than taking it by road. So I suppose the second huge advantage of the route is the reduced journey times on the road. It's the 600 kilometres in round trip driving that's saved. And that's really been, I think, the key selling point for most people who are travelling on the route. With Fastnet Line, you get into Ringaskiddy, you're after a night's sleep because it's always an overnight crossing, and you're refreshed, and you're an hour, 2 hours to your destination, even if you're going down to the Dingle Peninsula. So that's the huge advantage. And obviously, you're taking all that traffic off the road as well, and also reducing emissions. I suppose the final advantage of the service is the business model itself. I suppose in many ways this is an example of social entrepreneurship, where you've had an entire community come together to start a business that they see as advantageous and sustainable to their own livelihoods into the future. And I think that's the real joy of being a member of a co-op like this. Nobody's going to come and take the business away from us, do a leverage buyout, any of that jargon that we hear about these days. This is a business owned by the people, for the people, and something that I think they're all very, very proud to be a part of. I'm very, very proud to be receiving an award from the Cork Environmental Forum. My day job, I'm involved in energy management, and everything that we do at Longship is involved, I suppose, in the transition to a new energy paradigm and helping businesses to make that transition by becoming much more efficient in terms of how they utilise energy within their businesses. So to receive an environmental award like this for my pro bono work in the evenings is something that I'm very, very proud of. And on behalf of everybody involved in the co-op, I'd like to thank the Cork Environmental Forum for honouring me with this award.